One nation conservatism is not callous or cruel. It is arguably a fundamentally Christian idea, and apart from Robin Hood, it's hard to think of anybody who has better represented the notion of moving wealth from the very wealthy to the less wealthy in the hope of cultivating a harmonious society. So I've never understood. It started with Boris Johnson. Oh, blast. 9 minutes after 10 and I've said his name out loud. It started with the former mayor of London, the last mayor of London, who was responsible for a lot of cuts to fire engines and fire stations, despite swearing blind and campaigning on the ticket that he would do no such thing. And I said to you at the time, look, this bloke lives in London. At the time, he lived with his family before he got thrown out by his wife for being a cheating mountebank. But at the time, he lived with his family in London. His family still do live in London. He's got children, but both within wedlock and without, all over the place. And they would suffer, I used to argue, if they cut fire engines and fire stations. So do you see what I mean? There's curious contradiction really at the heart of conservative cuts and the thing that made me think they might be telling the truth when they said that they could cut public services without affecting the quality of the public service. I thought, because you know what we're like on this programme, we like to believe the best of people until the evidence that we shouldn't believe the best of them becomes absolutely incontrovertible. So I used to think, well look, you know and I know that in any given organisation you could be more streamlined, you could be more efficient. You could, right now I could be talking to you on the radio and I could also be, doing some paperwork while I talk to you. Now, I think that would probably compromise the quality of the programme that you're listening to, but in terms of productivity, it might actually be a net increase because the second-rate paperwork plus the second-rate paperwork plus the third-rate broadcasting, because I'd go down a notch from my normal level of second-rate broadcasting, might add up to a productivity increase as opposed to just the second-rate broadcasting with no paper. Do you see what I mean? Or as I look at my wonderful colleagues, I could think, well, you can go, you can stay, and we'll see how many calls we get. And then if we get a full switchboard, you get paid for this shift. If we don't get a full switchboard, you don't get paid for this shift because I don't need you. That is how it works, right? That is, Christ, it's me, capitalism 101. Don't worry, you can stay, even if the phones don't ring. Seriously, you don't want to miss this. So we can all look at any organisation, any system, and think it could be streamlined. So when a Conservative says to me, we can cut the police without actually increasing crime, I kind of think, well, that doesn't sound very plausible to me, but you live in this country as well. So if cutting the police is going to make us less safe, you would be making you and yours less safe as well as me and mine. And so I am perhaps minded to give you the benefit of the doubt, or at least to believe that you mean it. Right? This is fair, isn't it? This makes sense. If I'm in charge and my kids live here, I'm not going to cut the police if I genuinely believe that cutting the police is going to increase crime.